General Hospital fans are excited that Kelly Thiebaud is returning to the ABC soap. Of course, you know she played Britt Westbourne on and off from 2012 until she was killed by Heather Weber Allie Mills, aka The Hook, in 2023. But the million-dollar question is, are they bringing Britt back from the dead, or is she coming on as a new character or somebody we've met before? We're going to talk about 5 reasons why Kelly should definitely return as Britt. Why Kelly Thiebaud's return to General Hospital is exciting news. Me personally, I'm super excited that Kelly Thiebaud is back home at General Hospital. She took off for a while to do some different things, a lot of traveling. After leaving when Britt died, Kelly was on the hit primetime series Station 19. She was Eva Vasquez in 10 episodes spanned across 2020 to 2022. Now she's back and really soon, by the way. We don't have to wait forever because her first scenes air in July. So in just a few weeks, we'll have her back as Britt or somebody else. And I can't wait. The dramatic exit of Britt Westbourne, Huntington's disease, and The Hook. If you don't recall, Britt was already dying of Huntington's disease on GH. She had inherited the illness from her wicked dad, Faison, and her symptoms were getting increasingly worse. Remember Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, had gone to the doctor with her. All that stuff, and then, to facilitate Kelly's exit so she could take that role on ABC series Station 19, they killed Britt. If you don't recall, she saved Jocelyn Jacks, Eden McCoy, from The Hook. But in the struggle to save the teenager from crazy Heather, Britt was scratched by that poisoned hook. It was a fast and relatively painless death, not a slow, painful death like she was facing with Huntington's plus Britt. Died in her mom Liesl Obrecht's, Kathleen Gaddy, arms. Speculation on Britt's return, resurrection, or new role for Kelly Thiebaud. Now with Kelly coming back, everybody's clamoring to know, are they bringing back Britt against all odds, or is Kelly going to be a new character, or maybe a recast from the past rather than Britt? So recently, Kelly shared she's excited, grateful to be back at General Hospital. She promised a wild ride for fans. Check out her video post about her return to hear it in her own words. So she's clearly excited for everybody to see what her storyline is and how GH is bringing her back and in what capacity. She just started filming for General Hospital the first week of June, and she's going to be back on screen in July. So just a few weeks until we see her and Kelly use the phrase bringing me back. So that's open to interpretation. She might just mean herself as an actress or the character of Britt Westbourne. We'll have to wait and see, but I think it'd be great to have Britt back. 5 reasons why Britt Westbourne should return to General Hospital. So just right off the bat, don't forget Dr. Liesl Obrecht. Her brilliant and dangerous mother could have found a way to save her precious Britt's life. And it would be cool to have Liesl back too. By the way, I'd also miss her mom. And they could say that Britt's alive. Because Dr. O used some twisted science to freeze Britt until she could cure her. Liesl has always been up to all kinds of wacky science and experiments. So I will say that it would be kind of distasteful. Because Britt also had Huntington's disease, which is incurable. However, General Hospital could say Britt was misdiagnosed and then Liesl froze her, cured her from the hook poison, and nursed her back to health and addressed whatever it was that was masquerading as Huntington's. They would have to say it wasn't Huntington's to bring her back, because otherwise it just wouldn't work. They can't cure something that is incurable in real life. Jason Morgan and Britt Westbourne. Reviving a popular romance. So, second, another reason to bring Kelly back as Britt is a lot of people really liked her as Jason's love interest. Because he has had 0 romance or action since he's returned, and Britt and Jason had great chemistry. Lots of people were shipping them. And Jason was absolutely crushed when he came back to Port Charles after himself being presumed dead and heard that Britt had been murdered. He was devastated, and he actually showed some emotion, which is kind of a big deal for Jason. So he'd be happy if Britt turned out to be alive. She had real feelings for Jason, and there was a lot of potential there. And now with Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, back, he's claimed his baby with Sasha Gilmore, Sophia Matson. So Jason is free of that obligation. And I liked him with Britt. Brad Cooper and Britt Westbourne, rekindling mischief in Port Charles. So third reason to bring Kelly back as Britt is to revive that mischievous fun with her bad boy bestie Brad Cooper, Perry Shin. Of course, he'd come running back to Port Charles if Britt turned up alive, and they could start making trouble again. You know, Brad's still up to shady antics. Last we saw, he had been blackmailing Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, and then he got blackmailed by Portia, and last we saw Brad, he ratted Portia out to Drew Kane Quartermain, Cameron Matheson, for the ketamine. He paid off Brad, and then on Drew's orders he left town. So he might come back when Britt's alive, or Brad might find Britt, and then he brings her back. That'd be pretty cool. Emma Scorpio Drake's return, confronting Britt Westbourne's past actions. So the fourth reason to bring her back is Britt Westbourne is Emma Scorpio Drake, Braden Bruner, is now back in Port Charles. You may remember before Robin Scorpio came back from the dead, Emma's dad, Patrick Drake, Jason Thompson, was dating Britt and his daughter Emma, then played by Brooklyn Silzer, absolutely despised Britt. Emma could just smell the villainy on Britt, and let's be fair, Britt was definitely rotten back then, and she couldn't stand Emma at first. Britt called Emma a little brat when really she was just grieving the loss of her mom, Robin Scorpio, presumed dead at the time. But over time, Emma and Britt bonded, and they got close, and they cared about each other a lot. But then Britt betrayed Patrick by stealing Lulu Spencer's, Alexa Haven's brooding embryo, and impregnating herself. Britt then claimed it was her and Patrick's son. She named him Ben, and then later tried to switch it around and claim it was Nicholas Cassadine's, Tyler Christopher, son, and then of course, the baby went back to Lulu. So Emma might have some things to say to Britt now that she's all grown up, and that could be fun. Rocco Falconeri and Lulu Spencer, the fallout from Britt's return. And last but certainly not least, if Kelly's playing her old character back from the dead, it would rattle Rocco Falconeri, Finn Francis Kerr, and his mom Lulu. You may remember little baby Ben born from Lulu's stolen embryo is actually Rocco. Yeah, if you weren't watching then or forgot, Britt birthed him, so Rocco might give Britt a whole lot of teen attitude, and Lulu would be furious to see her face. So Britt's return could be really soapy for her and Lulu and Rocco and Emma and Jason and many others. But again, you know, the ethical dilemma, Huntington's disease, and Britt's possible resurrection. Bringing Kelly Thiebaud back as Britt is really problematic because of the Huntington's disease diagnosis, and GH cannot in good conscience pretend to cure the incurable without ticking people off. The only way to ethically bring Kelly back as Britt is to say she was misdiagnosed and had something else. But there are other things. For instance, Wilson's disease is another genetic disorder that can be mistakenly diagnosed as Huntington's, and that disease is curable. So if they want Kelly to return as Britt, there is a way to do it tastefully with a medical explanation for the Huntington's. It's not bringing her back from the hook poison that's standard soap stuff. It's bringing Britt back from death when she had a real-life terminal illness that's the problem. So I still kind of think she's going to be a recast or someone new, and we're going to talk about that later than this week in another video. But bottom line, no matter who Kelly ends up playing, absolutely thrilled to have her back, probably as excited as she is to be back.